Hello, everyone. Welcome for another session of Cloud Careers Journeys. Today we have Ryan with us.
And
Yeah.
where you published your training first initially, because there was no platform like ACG. What was the
No,
platform?
it was through Udemy.
Okay,
So
Udemy. Okay.
that's how I'd been learning everything. It got to a point where I think there was such a high demand for these courses. I think it was about 4 months in, maybe 5 months in, I was starting to earn $100,000 a month online, which was just
Wow.
crazy money. But with Udemy, they revenue share. So Udemy would take 2/3 of the money and I'd get 1/3. That was generally how it worked. It depended on the model of how people found you. And I just remember thinking, man, I'm making really good money now, like 100 grand a month. Like, that's insane. But Udemy's making like 2 or 3 times that, and just for having the platform. And so that's how my brother and I got started. My brother was a software engineer at Microsoft. He basically wrote defrag. Every time you defrag your disks, he was one of the core developers behind that for Windows Vista. And he just moved back to Australia, and I called him up and said, Sam, I'm making really good money right now, but the platform I'm on is like taking 2/3 of it. Can we build a school together? And at first he was like really suspicious, like, what? But then, Sam took 4 weeks off work, and that was his entire annual leave. And he went and wrote the school. So he built the entire A Cloud Guru platform within 4 weeks. It was just after Lambda had been released at reInvent 2015. So Sam was like, we just need to build this serverlessly. And so I'd say, arguably, we were the world's first serverless startup, because we had a serverless website by the end of 2015. And within 6 weeks, we were earning more money from our own platform than we were from Udemy. And eventually we ended up leaving Udemy altogether and just having our own, serverless platform. And the great thing about a serverless school is you only pay a cost when somebody is, invoking a function.
Yeah.
So essentially we'd only incur a cost when we had paying customers, so we didn't have to pay by the minute or by the hour servers that no one was using. We were literally just paying costs, when we had paying customers. And we were in free tier for the first year. Our IT bill was like literally nothing. It was all just done on free tier and serverless. So that really bootstrapped the company, because we had, really good income coming in. We didn't have barely any running costs, and so we could basically take the money and invest on getting as many instructors as possible. And so that's what we did, and that was the start of A Cloud Guru.
Awesome.
But were you in UK, or have you moved to Australia that time when you started A Cloud?
No, I was in the UK. My brother was in
Okay.
Australia, so we're trying to build the business between us. But the majority of our customers were, like 70 or 80% were in the United States. We had no point of presence in the US. I hadn't been to the US in years, I think. And so that's when one day we got a call. I'll never forget it. It was just my phone rang, and I don't normally answer if I don't recognize the number, but I was on vacation in Italy, in Lake Como. Had the most stunning views. My phone starts ringing, so it's like, hello. And it was a venture capital company called Elephant who read about us, and they're like, have you thought about taking VC investment? I'm like, well, we don't need any money. We're really got really strong revenues, so why would we, take on money and dilute our equity? And they're like, well, where's your office in the US? You're missing a big opportunity here. And I was like, yeah, okay, fair point. We don't know anything about the US market. And so that's how we ended up meeting with Elephant and raising our first Series A. And off the back of that, we went to like 3 different locations. We went to Silicon Valley, we went to LA, 4 different locations. We went to Austin, Texas, and we went to New York to see where we'd have our offices. And Austin, Texas just won hands down, because there was a huge amount of talented tech people out there. But the cost of living was so much lower than San Francisco, Silicon Valley, for example. So for every software engineer you could hire in Silicon Valley, you could get 3 software engineers in Austin. And so that's started the US version of A Cloud Guru, was in Austin, Texas. And it started out really small in some serviced offices. There was air conditioning, but it was still really hot. I just remember it being really hot. Dogs walking around in the in the office. And then a few years later, we're at 500 people across the globe, and yeah, it just grew massively.